advice do you have from all the research you've done on the best way to deal with memory issues and memory loss?
Yeah, so memory loss is a big deal now, like dementia and Alzheimer. So I actually had called it for a long time diabetes type 3, and a lot of people, a lot of science do. And what happens is that you make insulin in the hippocampus, which is the learning and memory center in the brain. And you make, of course, the pancreas makes insulin for the rest of the body to take care of it. So it's actually an insulin-related disease. It's also infections related, but when it comes to insulin, the more sugar I eat, the more I deprive my body of nourishment, and I eat non-foods and carbs, processed carbs, that insulin is going down the drain, and I need that insulin to be able to have a good sugar level for my brain. And I'm not talking white sugar or honey or anything. So it's very important to keep sugar at bay. And if I eat fruit, it's max, maybe a piece or two, or a bowl of blueberries, or some local fruit that you can enjoy at that time. Dried fruit is far too much sugar. And, you got to be careful. But the carbs are also in the white potato, in the grains, in the bread, in the pasta, in the pizza. It's a lot of things that you need to think. And of course, anybody that works with memory knows that we got to keep our brain active. We need community, we need a social life, we need to learn new things. Take courses, learn, do crosswords, but just keep that brain going, and you have to exercise, because with exercise you keep your brain amazing. So don't start, I worked 1 year in the nursing home, oh my gosh, people sat. They could only sit. There was no therapy, there was no exercise. So you sit all day and you sleep in the chair. And before you know it, your memory is down the drain. And the food that nursing home serves, it's outrageous what we do to the elders, outrageous. It's hopefully, with everybody's help and real truth about health and waking people up, I hope we're going to have some consciousness growing.
In Dr. Stephen Gundry's best-selling book, The Plant Paradox, he says lectins are microscopic proteins that plants evolved to defend themselves from predators, including insects and animals, that includes humans. They are essentially indigestible and have the unique ability to increase the permeability of your intestines. That means that they can pass through the wall of your gut and will and be treated as foreign invaders by your immune system. This causes an inflammatory response, which can set the stage for a host of diseases as well as weight gain. What foods are rich in lectins? Generally speaking, all grains and legumes have more lectins than anything else. In some cases, pressure cooking can destroy the lectins. Nightshade vegetables and squashes and select nuts and seeds are also rich in lectins. Do you agree with Dr. Gundry? Why or why not?
No. Okay, so sprouted grains and beans are not a problem with leptin. And it has confused a lot of people about what to eat, unfortunately. And, and I guess everybody has their own idea and their own results with things that they've done. But we have 63 years of experience that you can't compare to. And, I think it's been confusing people, and it's not something that we have as part of any of our studies for all these years, and people improving and being successful in their own healing. I think that we got to be careful when we put this kind of information out. And now I hear a lot of people are talking about this. And instead of them really taking care with a vegan life food lifestyle and exercise and go to sleep early and taking care and being community, now this is suddenly the big thing. Oh, it's sad.
There are so many paleo, keto, Atkins, low-carb authors and books. Why are so many people who are well-educated, credentialed, and smart concluding that the low-carb diet not the whole food plant-based diet is the best for human health? And what are the most compelling, important, and convincing studies that make you believe that a whole food plant-based diet is the proper diet for humans and that a diet that includes animal products is not?
I think we all want a quick fix. And we kind of want to do what we want to do. So if somebody tells me you can eat cake all day, and hey, if it's scientifically showing me why I can eat cake all day, hey, who wouldn't want to? Then, and so there's one diet after the other, and one is going to tell you that animal food is not bad, but the carbs are bad. And if you want to lose weight, you stop all the carbs, the sugars, and the grains. Yeah, well, they've never tried a live food vegan diet. There is beyond, that's superior to all those diets. And sometimes you start with them because you do get rid of some bad stuff in those diets, and that might be your stepping stones, but please don't stop there. Don't get stuck there. I did macrobiotic for a year myself as I became vegan. And after a while, I just had to give up on that because it was mainly all cooked, and it was a big process to make it. And so people look at sprouts and they'd be like, well, but that's its process. No, that is your own farming, which you can do on the 40th floor. You can do it hydroponic for that matter. And you can do it in jars, you can do it on trays. You can buy a lot of sprouts too. There are a lot of sprout growers all over, probably in big cities for sure. Most countries have sprout growers. We find them when we travel. So there's a lot of new fad diets that pop up. And as soon as one is going down, one other comes up. And we're like, okay, now what are they going to come out with? What kind of experience and past do they have behind them that they can say that this is going to work? So, we're looking at it and we're like, when are people really going to realize that, yes, we are all addicts. We are addicts. And how do I overcome being an addict? But the first thing we have to say to ourselves, we are addicts. We like things because we like cheese, we like butter, we like sugar, we like that because we've been brought up with it. We don't know any better. So, the thing is, we start doing things like go to the juice bar and get a shot of wheatgrass. Go and get a green drink and tell them hold off on the sugar, there are no carrots or beets, just give me the greens. Start with that. Your body's going to start talking to you and saying, I'm not so hungry for all that sugar and sweets and meat. I'm in a different level. And then next time you go to the salad bar, just buy the salad. Just go to salads. And but make it palatable. Stay out of the chicken. Stay out of the meat. Stay out of those products, and just choose things that are vegetable sources. And you'll be surprised, slowly but surely. Maybe you do it once a week to begin with, and you say, okay, this is what we're going to do once a week. And how are you going to feel the next day? You're going to feel it. You will have a family that says, we can do that more times. So if you have a family, please don't push them into something, but maybe you can say, once a week we're going to do it. And then maybe in a month we do it twice a week. And before you know it, especially, kids are going to feel it. And they will feel it with their activity. When they do sports, they will feel it. Because normally when you do sports, in the afternoon, you have no energy, and then you get some kind of chocolate bar, and you get a soda, and you pick up for a little bit, and then you fall down, and and you try your best. So it's really child abuse in a way. When you think about it, how we deal with our kids' nutrition, because we are all so busy. We're like, we kind of just throw things into our body to just get some energy, and then we think our kids can do the same. They're still growing. Their brain is still developing. This is a precious time in their life. We stop using fad diets. When somebody has a long experience and they talk the truth from their heart, let's listen.
The low-carb diets recommend getting your body into ketosis. What's wrong with that?
Ketosis, not everybody can even handle that. It depends on what if I have disease of any form, any illness. It's not a good thing, and I will have a harder time to absorb nourishment. I'm not an expert in that one, but I know that I wouldn't want that naturally. When we fast, like we fast once a week, and some people intermittent fast. Brian and I do that a lot. But it doesn't lead us to, because we have juices and wheatgrass, so we're fine. That's not happening.
What are the health implications from eating salt? How much of an effort should we make to avoid it? It seems to be in everything.
So there's a big amount of salt in our processed foods. And you know what happened in the 70s? They wanted white salt. So they took all the nourishment, including iodine, out of it and just left sodium chloride. And then they said, oops, people have thyroid problem, they lack iodine. And then they put iodized salt out, but as soon as you open that jar, it evaporates, so it's gone. So people think they're getting it, and they're not. So salt in a natural form, sodium chloride, and all the vegetables and sprouts that we use have naturally sodium. The juices have, the wheatgrass have, the green drinks have, the salads that we serve has. We don't add salt. We don't add salt except there are some people that come and they've used a ton of salt and their body is reacting by not having it. Just like a diabetic that doesn't get sugar, we have to give them cereal and we give them nut milk to help them over the hump to be able, especially if they have insulin, to be able to lower that, not as drastic. Because insulin need, for example, on a diet like live food vegan, it just drops because the need is so low that we have to counteract it a little bit. Sodium is very important for a lot of people. We have a product that I rather use than pure salt. Sometimes in emergency you have to, if people are reacting and their sodium potassium imbalance is terrible. Well, it's called ASEA, which is the 4th generation of sodium. So it's not salt, it's the 4th generation that goes right into the cell and nourish. And so every cell in your body needs sodium, of course. Every cell in your body needs glucose. So it's really important to have a good, but that usually in 3 weeks even, that usually fixes itself with the nourishment. So there's no extra salt on our tables.